Welcome back, my violent friends. UFC Texas. Where do we even fucking begin? Sean Strickland turning Anthony Fluffy Hernandez into a former Mexican. Dude, I swear that is the first knee to the body that Strickland has ever thrown in his entire career. And it just shuts down Fluffy Hernandez. Look, I didn't want to believe the soft body comments, but dude, hats off to Sean Strickland. The parry game was on point. Not a lot of teeps, because Anthony Hernandez was ready to grab that shit. Did want some grappling exchanges here with Strickland. Did threaten it. Now look, say what you're going to say. I'm a big Strickland fan, but I wasn't expecting him to go into this matchup and just treat Anthony Hernandez, who is a cardio freak. Strickland treated him like Sneeko in there. I was really out here thinking I was tapped into the game of Sean Strickland. We spent so much time breaking down just the layers of his defensive skills, but I need to credit this man's power. We talked about, we were even going into bone density. We were talking about, the post-motorcycle crash has, formed him new fucking legs. He's got calves like a fucking elephant, but it's actually just his natural power. One little scraping knee to the body and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez instantly on the back foot and gets swarmed by volume, taken out by Sean Strickland with ease. With ease. This was not a brawl that I wanted it to be. I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy the fight. I wanted bloodshed. These two are capable of some really nasty shit in that cage, and we didn't get to see it, man. I'm disappointed in my Fluffy pick. I'm saddened at how easily Strickland won this. I wanted him to go through hell. I wanted him to go through the fire to get this done, but it just didn't happen, man. I overrated Fluffy Hernandez's toughness, I guess. I really did. I didn't see him getting TKO'd here. I thought he would walk through body shots and, take shots on the chin, take that jab on the face, and just walk through it with ease. He walked through full power right hands from PEREIRA, walked through that shit, aura mogged him. Same with Del Valle. Roman Kopylov, body kicks from hell. He just eats that shit and walks forward. But nope, a little scraping knee to his fluffy midsection from Strickland, and he just withers, man. He breaks. It's MMA. What can I say? That's another main event down the drain that sucks, because before the Paramount era, we were cooking. I got the Gaethje pick. That was Paramount, I guess, but man, we were on an 8-fight main event win streak, and now I'm letting it slip again. Look, Strickland takes it. He hasn't had a finish in years. All credit to Strickland and Strickland fans here. Bedtime was tapped in. Fluffy, man, he had burned me so many times, and then I believe in him. I put trust in him, and this is how it goes. Never switch up on your picks, guys. Look, we picked Jordan Leavitt to masterclass Yadier Del Valle, and we were correct. Why would I ever think that Fluffy was the Terminator here? Strickland's the Terminator, man. He's built different. He's more proven. It is what it is. I bought into the hype a bit too much. There's no hype on Strickland. Trust me. We've gone through the data on Strickland. I know what he's all about, but he definitely proved me wrong here. I was too high on Fluffy Hernandez, who's been banking these wins just by being the middleweight Marab, and just how fucking strong is Dricus du Plessis, who was rugby tackling Strickland to the ground. Meanwhile, Fluffy Hernandez can't chain a single takedown together and just withers and breaks. All credit to Strickland, man. I knew he was elite defensively. I thought he would struggle across the distance here and break late, but we didn't even get to see that, man. He barely broke a sweat because he stuffed the takedowns with ease. And look, Fluffy's hands are quick and good. He snuck some shots through on Strickland. He had a crafty Mexican uppercut that I loved, but he just couldn't hurt Strickland. You can't hurt Strickland unless you're PEREIRA. Man, I just feel silly because of all the breakdowns we did. I spent hours breaking down Strickland, and to just fumble his main event like this, it hurts, but we will bounce back big. We always do. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez remains the hardest worker at middleweight. He will stay in the rankings, guys. He's going to just look at middleweight. He's going to exhaust so many people, so Fluffy Hernandez believers, we stay strong. But Strickland calls out Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat is a next-level finisher. He really is. On the feet, on the ground. Khamzat don't play all right. But is he moving up to 205 to fight Yuri? I've seen rumors. We will keep you tapped in. on Khamzat Chimaev, but give it up for Strickland, man. He's back in the win column. He's not taken 2 losses in a row. Mr. Main Event, Sean Strickland. You have my respect for life, good sir. Yeah, I was stubborn this week with Hernandez. Really was. Put too much faith in the unseen. The cardio, the mindset, his killer attitude, the way he fatigues people. I just overvalued that. I really did. I should have put more stock and more weight into the defensive layers of Strickland. But no, I went with mindset. I went with killer attitude, hunger. I went with the win streak, the fatigue game of Hernandez, and it didn't pay the bills. It wasn't able to crack through Strickland's defense. So we will learn from this. We will absolutely learn from this. Will I fade Hernandez next time out? We'll see. But Strickland does impress. Always fun on the mic. What a shock jock he is. Controversial figure, can't be canceled. Give it up for Sean Strickland, Mr. America, folks. I was very confused as to why Uros Medic is on a co-main event of a decently good fight night. Now I know. He blitzes Geoff Neal and sends him packing, sends him to the Grim Reaper. Uros Medic, man. That's twice now within the span of a year that I've slept on him. Stretchered, Muslim Salikov, my boy. I think we'll have to become a Uros believer after that. I'm all on board, the doctor. Or is Geoff Neal's chin just spent? You don't come back from spinning elbow KOs. We've seen it with Dominic Reyes. That is next level damage, bone on bone. So I think the chin of Geoff Neal is just spent as well. You don't come back from spinning elbows, guys. So Uros Medic, phenomenal KO, making big money. He's definitely getting that performance bonus. The prelims were kind of dog shit, but look, Uros Medic, man, I know he has good training partners. I know Bilal sort of big upped this guy back in the day, so Uros, he's unique, man. Unique accent, super aggro fighting style. He's devious on the feet. He really hunts KOs, so he's willing to put himself in the firing line. Uros Medic is the complete opposite to a guy like Sean Strickland. So maybe an Uros Medic breakdown in the future is coming, because he is full aggro. He doesn't take a backward step. He literally marches you down, hunts for your chin. He doesn't really have a defensive system at all. No parry game. Uros Medic is willing to roll that dice every time, and he gets one over on Geoff Neal. One of the cleanest KOs of the year so far. Definitely don't feel bad about getting my pick wrong. Had some faith in the vet Geoff Neal, but Uros Medic, just another killer in this fucking welterweight division. Do I need to make a video just naming every fresh hot contender at welterweight? Because the list is seemingly endless. Uros Medic, now ranked, now on a hot streak, now on a KO win streak. Seemed like he was just being fed to the wolves here in his first sort of co-main event spot. He was unranked before this, sort of a no-name. Now I know. Now we know. We're tapped into Uros Medic like you wouldn't believe. Who does that to Geoff Neal? Carlos Prates did it with a spinning elbow, guys. This is different. This was just a piston of a left hook. Sends Geoff Neal, the veteran, packing. Uros Medic Army, rise up. I think that just made me a believer for life. How aggro he is, how much he hunts that KO. Now we're tapped in. The doctor, Uros Medic, I love it. If you can do that to Geoff Neal, you're a player in this welterweight division. I've changed my tune completely. Bow down to Uros Medic. I'm now a believer moving forward. But this fight right here, Melquizael Costa, you guys, I damn near shit myself seeing this KO. Flawless victory over Dan Ige. The first man to knock out Dan Ige. Winning by spinning back kick knockout. Completely schooling Dan Ige at long range, like we said. He's earned a Steve Garcia rematch. He's going to slay the beast. He's going to slay the demon that is Steve Garcia if they ever do rematch, because Melquizael Costa's on different type of fucking momentum, man. This is insane. Spinning back kick to the eye, to the neck. He basically just destroyed Dan Ige with a single strike. This was flawless victory at its finest. They didn't give this man a performance bonus after he head kicked Morgan Charrier. He comes out and he does that. Main event's next for Melquizael Costa. Literally whatever he wants. I've been saying, get this guy out of the fucking Apex and get him in front of the world on the world stage, because he aura farms, he highlight hunts. Now the people know. Now the people know that Melquizael Costa is for real. I was a little bit worried because Dan Ige is a very good grounded puncher, very, very solid fundamentals, never out of position, but Melquizael Costa, we were right to pick him. I thought he would win by decision, just sort of pointing his way to a decision win, but beautiful kill shot read here to shatter Ige's face. That's up there. Top KOs of the year. I was already tapped into the Dalmatian's career. I've been trying to put you guys onto him. I've picked him to win basically every fight he's had since I started the channel, but dude, next level KO. We said he's got weapons. We've said he's just a younger prime Edson Barboza with the kicks. He's fucking lethal, man. He's turned a new leaf. All those gym wars with Brito where he's just getting speedrunning CTE, they're paying dividends. They're fucking paying dividends because who does that to Dan Ige? Lopez doesn't, Evloev doesn't, Murphy doesn't. Costa does. He's a fucking player. Bow down to the Dalmatian. Crazy, dude. We're doing a breakdown soon. Probably a 25-minute fucking video. I love Melquizael Costa. Been singing his praises since he whooped up on Lingo. He's no longer in the shadows. He's coming, man. Nobody does that to Dan Ige. I'm over the moon. Bullseye prediction. We may have said decision, but still, we were invested, okay? I wanted to give respect to Ige, being the veteran that he is, but we said this is the next generation at featherweight where the young eat the old. Bow down to Melquizael Costa. He lets the people know with a spinning back kick, head kick KO. We also hit the biggest underdog on the entire card, and that is Jordan Leavitt, opening as like a plus 400 underdog. Are you fucking kidding me? Over Yadier Del Valle, who, look, has to throw the FBI off his scent somehow. Look, no, Jordan Leavitt, man, different type of physicality at 145, just chucks around. Del Valle stays safe on the feet. Very boring win, I will admit, but look, grappling masterclass, get your wins how you have to. Jordan Leavitt, you know, he's coming to submit you with something stupid. Jumped for 2 heel hooks like a fucking BJJ gigachat, okay, so people are going to call it boring. People are always going to trash on Jordan Leavitt, but went for some heel hooks, spanked Del Valle on the ass a bunch. Phenomenal win. The Monkey King getting it done. We're tapped into grappling success here. I don't just pick strikers to win. We knew to fade Yadier here. The Cuban Problem loses his undefeated record to Jordan Leavitt. That's actually crazy, but look, man, we're tapped in different. Yeah, another feel-good win on the card. I got a lot of shit for this pick in my comments section. Those will be deleted soon, I imagine. Look, I'm trying to put you guys on to the Monkey King. Okay, look, Jordan Leavitt, just a different type of fighting style, okay? Yes, it is zesty. Yes, it is flamboyant. But look, he's lethal when he wants to be. He is a very strong grappler. Put some respect on it, on the Monkey King. Now you guys know, okay? Jordan, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Get back to the twerking, though, okay? That's what got you to the dance. You got to go back to that, okay? So Jordan Leavitt, big underdog win. We told you. Del Valle not getting it done at this level, only beating up on regional level names, and the Bulgarian fight was suspect. So we went with the Monkey King here, and he didn't let us down. I will probably be picking Jordan Leavitt to win his next fight. He looked like a physical freak at 145 here, so the Monkey King reigns supreme. Look, Melquizael Pereira's crafty, man, but I fucking despise you faking fouls like that. Like, these people, I swear they're missing chromosomes. Like, do they not understand? We have instant replay. That has been invented in 2026, believe it or not. We can see clear as day you're faking fouls, okay? Look, Zach Reese, a bit amateurish pick on my end, is a bit too green to get a win over a guy like Melquizael Pereira. I thought he was a bit more of a killer than that. Definitely thought in his backyard here of Houston, Texas, he'd come out with venom, but nah, just never got out of first gear. Zach Reese, empty body kicks, missing a lot of big punches. Not a fan, man. So, yeah, sorry for the pick. Definitely overhyped Zach Reese as the Savage. Dude looks like Logan Paul, but Melquizael Pereira's done, man. No athleticism still. I still feel like that's a genius read. His body is so banged up over all the goofy shit he's been pulling over the years, like with the cartwheels, the backflips. His body's destroyed on the inside, so we will still fade Melquizael Pereira moving forward, but fuck, he craftied his way through this one like a savvy trickster, faking nut shots, faking eye pokes, so credit to the man, I guess. If that's how you gotta break your losing streak and get your wins, all credit to Demolidor, get your win. Look, this was a step up for Zach Reese, and he almost won. It was a split decision loss. But look, man, dust yourself off. Get a bit more dangerous. Be willing to spill some blood for the MMA gods. Yeah, he had sort of like a slip knockdown that sort of cost him the fight. It is what it is. Bad performance at home. Just seems to happen in Houston, Texas, man. The judges tonight, man. Interesting scorecards in there. Some interesting suspect 30-27s. Interesting shit. And another honorable mention. Mad respect to Carlos Leal, who we picked to win over Chidi Njokuani, and he did. But after he took the path of most resistance, walking into the firing line of Chidi Njokuani, Chidi Bang Bang, this is a phenomenal fight. Go watch it. It is basically Chidi Bang Bang firing on all cylinders at long range, keeping Carlos Leal at kicks, but Leal just being that lion and just charging into short range with tons of punishment, just fucking ripping that body of Chidi. That's what I love to see when you're the shorter fighter. Get yourself in short range, plant and throw. All props to Njokuani. He's such a fun striker. Hope he sticks around and doesn't lose his job, because man, he can kick. What a wizard on the feet he is. And might I also add, being named Carlos, is that like secretly the best base for MMA? We got Carlos Prates, Carlos Condit, just savages on the feet. Now we got Carlos Leal, huge bounce back win here. In style, looked like a Giga Chad. What a way to wipe away that Muslim Salikov KO loss. Aura regained for Carlos Leal. Jacoby Smith gets an amazing KO. We said that, though. That was to be expected. Josiah Harrell, layup bum opponent on short notice to fill in for Seok Young KO. That Korean grappler guy. But Jacoby Smith's legit, man. I should bump him up to S tier on that prospects tier list. Dude's a fucking mutant. He is just shredded. He's the Tyron Woodley 2.0. Phenomenal wrestling scramble in this fight, and that ground and pound was nasty. Look, Josiah Harrell shouldn't be in the cage. He went like one punch, and he went out cold because of the brain injury. Get out of fighting, man. Protect your brain, protect your health, good warrior. Jacoby Smith's a mutant, man. He's going to go far in this welterweight division. The punch power, the wrestling ability, it's sickening. Carly Judice didn't get her finish. I thought she really would carve up and just disfigure Juliana Miller, who's an Instagram model. Didn't get it done, though. Won by decision. Still good looks, but couldn't find the finish. Miller's awkward. It is what it is. Next time, Juliana Miller, you'll get back in there with a KO. That's 2 KOs and 1 decision for her. You're my girl, Carly Judice. Get violent next time out. I love ya to bits. And JP Labosnayani cutting Phil Rowe from the UFC. This dude's good. He's They revealed some deep lore on JP here. He had Jose Aldo's coach in his corner or something. I don't know if that was fever dreaming and I misheard that. His dad or his grandfather is French Foreign Legion, Giga Chad, shades of Benoit Saint Denis, marauding forward. Keep an eye on JP, man. He's really good. Sort of a stinker against Phil Rowe here where he wins by split. Split's interesting. I don't think Phil Rowe won many big moments in this fight. JP just was wearing some visible damage from some jabs. That's all this sort of really was. Didn't struggle at all in sort of the ebb and flow of the fight. Just had a bit of visible damage, so a judge sort of fucked it up. I was sort of sweating bullets here in that split decision. But look, JP, he came in on the Contender Series, dynamite finish, dispatches of Phil Rowe. Who's a step up in your debut? That's a tough test in your... Look, Phil Rowe dusting up Nico Price, you guys. So, tough debut for JP, but he gets it done. He's a hot prospect as well. So, it was a good card. It was loaded with boring fucking decisions for the most part, but had some good moments. Main card was loaded with KOs. A lot of people met the Grim Reaper tonight. Dan Ige, Geoff Neal, seemingly uncrackable chins have now been cracked. Brutal shit. So, phenomenal event. Definitely undervalued Strickland here. Should have trusted in some other MMA YouTubers who were really dialed into this pick. Up next is UFC Mexico. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a phenomenal little fight night. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all real soon.